So, a funny story. The other day, I was so excited to watch raccoons on a night vision camera jumping on a trampoline. It was hilarious. It was so cute. So, of course, I shared the video with my husband and friends and my kids. It was the best thing ever. Made me so happy. And then I saw another video. This time, deer on a trampoline jumping. And then another video. Bears on a trampoline. And of course, that is when I finally realized that none of it was real. That all of those videos were AI. It was so entertaining. I was a little annoyed, but also like, this is what AI is meant for. This is the best. It brought me so much joy. It was so funny. But here's the ironic part. I have spent over 20 years studying history and 17 years teaching it, helping students learn how to think critically and evaluate legitimate sources and distinguish between fact and fiction. And here I am getting duped by trampoline raccoons. It's the best. Realizing that I had been completely fooled, I of course laughed hard, but then it really made me pause. It made me think that this is just harmless, but if something so harmless can feel so real, what about everything else we're seeing online? It kind of freaked me out a little, and it was just a really good reminder to myself, don't automatically trust everything I hear or see or read, especially on social media or even the news without triple checking sources, which is something I've already known. Just because something looks real does not mean that it is, and just because something sounds convincing doesn't make it true. But most of us don't have time or desire, for that matter, to fact check everything, especially when we're hit with so much information the moment we open our phones or our computers. It's just information overload. We're living in a time where content is so easy to make, and not all of it is truthful. Images, videos, and facts, even entire narratives, can be generated and altered and shared in seconds. See the raccoon incident that I just talked about? Yeah, that's exhibit A. While that could be fascinating, it can also feel very overwhelming. Some people, individuals without any legitimate authority or credibility, are really influencing large audiences, which feels quite unsettling. There is so much misinformation, history, and news included, being presented as truth. I've noticed that if I spend too much time consuming content, especially on topics that I care deeply about or that I've studied in depth in lots of schooling, I can feel really agitated and reactive. The passionate side of me can come out a little bit in full flames. It's kind of, it's funny, but it's really not. And I know I'm not the only one. So, how can we navigate all of this a little bit more gracefully? We can pause, get a little more curious, ask, is that AI? Maybe. We can become a little or really a lot more discerning about what we take in and believe. And we can remember that not everything should be accepted at face value. Even when it's shared by someone that we trust, they might have been duped too. It's possible, and it's happening. Like, hence me sharing raccoons, and I didn't share the bears, but the raccoons jumping on the trampoline. Oh, it's so funny. When the news or social media feels like too much, when it makes us feel like our world is crumbling, it's a tough one. We want to be informed, but we can also step away. We can turn the news off. I know that's crazy, but it's not going anywhere. It'll still be there later. And in the meantime, we can take care of our bodies. We can go for a walk. We can watch a comedy. That's one of my favorite things. We can talk to a friend. We can take a few deep breaths with extra long exhales. When we feel overwhelmed by life, the news, social media, or even raccoons, maybe they're hanging out in your backyard, we can come back to what's actually within our reach. We can take care of what we can control. We can support our friends who are in need. We can take care of our families. We can tend to our own bodies and minds so that we can show up as our best selves. If you would like to explore ways that are simple and will help you feel grounded and present and intentional in a very fast moving and sometimes crazy making world, that's something we gently practice together in our Joy Alchemy community, one tiny small shift at a time. You are invited to check us out and join for free for a week. Anyways, sending you lots of love and light and funny videos that you know are AI but still appreciate and enjoy anyways.